Similk, let's talk a little bit about families.
Yay!
Singers and models, anyone in particular?
Madonna and Paula Abdul.
Really, that's a good choice. And Dwayne, I was wondering, what
VPN do you use?
Well, I usually
Use NordVPN because it unblocks my internet, it keeps my identity safe, and I just feel more secure when I use it.
Janet!
It looks like life might get back to normal pretty soon, and for us that means it's time to hit the road again. We're always hopping around the world, and that means we always use a VPN. But we also use a VPN even when we're back at home in our office editing our videos for ADV China. Now, a VPN is a tool that allows your internet data and all of the things that you're doing online to be hidden, private, and safe. Internet anonymity and privacy and security is super important, especially in this day and age where a lot of people's identities and lives are tied to their internet activity. NordVPN is the VPN that we choose because it's super easy to use. Hop to any country around the world and get secure internet. Not only that, you can actually get around region locks, which are locks that countries put on content. So for example, maybe there's a movie out in England or Japan that isn't available in the US. You can hop to those servers and actually access that content. So getting around region locks is really cool too. Don't forget to go to nordvpn.com/ADVChina and use the code ADVChina. You'll get 68% off of a 2-year plan. And if you decide it's not for you, don't worry, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's no stress. Thanks for helping support the channel, and thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
You're a family man.
Yeah, I am. I'm a bit of a family man. The issue is that no matter how many differences everyone might have with how they deal with their family, the Chinese tend to see it as a deficiency of Western culture. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's first of all talk about what Chinese people find important in family. What is the main, we talked about it. It's about, you said respect, giving your children
Sure.
morals, upbringing. I said support, supporting each other's decisions. But what about Chinese family? What's that all about?
Chinese family is about absolutely taking care of forever the older generation.
Yeah.
And that's usually just monetarily. It's not like mental health support or like anything like that. It's basically like feeding, clothing, and making sure that the older generation is going to stay alive. That's in the most basic roots, right? So that really affects the way that family values kind of exist in East Asia, particularly in China. And that's why, and this is why we came up with this topic, was that so many Chinese people we meet are like, oh, you guys are so independent, but it's so bad. Like, your parents and grandparents, they can just die. Like, and you guys don't care. You go off, you're over here. I wish I could just go off and do that stuff, but I can't because I got to take care of my family and stuff.
Sure.
Right? And I think there's a huge misunderstanding there.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the Western family unit was built around survival, just as the Chinese family unit was built around survival. But the difference is that the West has developed and has been developed for a long enough time that things have changed.
Right.
Now, it's only very recent that China has come out of literally starvation and famine and massive problems. And I'm talking about a generation, So the way the family is structured in China is really all about survival. And it's actually not only for the old people. Of course, you've got filial piety, but don't run over me, damn truck. Give me a second. Thaco Frontier. Why is everyone going the wrong way on this road, by the way?
It's more convenient.
It's really, it's more convenient, I guess. But not only for the old people, but think about it. The young people, the parents, they provide them with a place to eat and stay.
Right.
The grandparents look after the children. It's all kind of one big unit, while the fittest, most able-bodied members of the family are out there earning money.
Sure.
The elderly are taking care of the children, taking that burden off of the young parents, and also providing a home and whatnot. So it actually works very well for everyone involved from a survival point of view, right? But of course, because it's such a survival type thing, it kind of lacks when it comes to individualism, because you're just part of a machine at that point, you know. And that's the biggest difference. Is they'll see a child as really struggling studying, right, and being forced into studying and absolutely just having a terrible childhood, not being able to play with their friends, not being able to do anything creative, but studying is the most important thing. And even if they feel bad, they're like, oh, this sucks that they're going through this, they won't stop it. They'll keep pushing it because they know that's what needs to be done, you know. So yeah, can you talk about why Chinese people think our family units are bad?
So yeah, so my example here is what you talked about. It's a good from a survival standpoint.
Yeah.
But let me talk about like my wife. She her parents don't care about her, and I can safely say that. Like, they obviously care if she lives or dies, but they don't care about what she does. If she tries, I've heard her on the phone, it's really sad. It's like she'll call them and be like, hey, today, you know, I did this and this and this, and they actually just don't even like comment on it. They don't give a shit, right? They really don't care. They're not friends. They might be close in that they keep in contact and buy each other fruit or whatever, but like they don't actually care about what their daughter is doing. They don't care about where she went that day. They don't care about how, you know, she's finding a job. It's just whatever for them. And whereas, like, maybe, I don't know about you, but like, I think the Western mentality, at least for me, is like you can actually have an adult conversation with your parents. You can catch up on what's going on in life, you know?
Sure.
Be like, hey, you know, oh, dad got a new job or something, and we can make jokes and talk about stuff. And you're not a child anymore, right? You're in your 30s, so you can kind of have almost a friendly relationship with your parents when you grow up. That's expected. So my point is that with Vivi, she doesn't. She's a child to them, even though she's a fully fledged mother with more kids than her mom raised. Her mom didn't even raise her, you know, she just passed her off to her grandma. So it's very weird to me, and it looks very cold. And yet her argument in the beginning was that, well, you're so far away from your parents, you're so far away from your family, you must not care about them. And her parents think the same. Oh, so independent, but you know, he doesn't care. There's no obligation there. When in fact, if anything happened, of course I'd be there for my family, right?
Oh yeah.
It's just that they need that face structure of how that family is supposed to be more than anything. So yeah, I think that's kind of like my example of where this clash can come in. It's this clash that really does cause a lot of like bitter arguments and stuff amongst cross-cultural relationships.
Oh dude, this is actually probably one of the biggest issues that anyone who gets married to someone from another culture, especially from here in Asia,
right,
will face, and that is this family thing. Because they do like treat them like children, even up until they're in their 50s or something, you know. Pretty much they never stop being immature children to the parents. And of course, you know, in the West, we say, oh, you'll always be my little boy, or you'll always be my little girl, or something, but you still respect them as an adult.
Sure.
But not here. You'll always be a child who must be subservient type thing. And honestly, for me, this is something that really irks me, is that my wife's going to have to go back to visit her parents at least once a year, if not more.
At least, yeah.
At least, because they can't be apart from their family. They're so dependent on each other. You know, whether it's a good or a bad thing, it's a bloody annoying thing for someone like myself who's so independent, is to have to deal with the fact that, you know, your wife is going to always have to be running back to mommy and daddy all the time, you know, and mommy and daddy's always going to have to be running
versa,
back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on, people are grown up, you know. Get over it. Maybe meet for like Chinese New Year or something. That's fine every once in a while. You know, it's quite frustrating, to be honest.
It's condescending in a way, because like Vivi's mom will be like, I'm so worried you guys are, I know you guys are struggling. I know you guys don't have enough. Like, just come back. Like, we'll take care of this situation. It's like, what are you talking about?
Sure.
Have I never once taken care of your daughter or something? I don't understand. We don't accept anything from you, you know? But to them, it's like, I have to say this stuff. It's like, this is what we do, you know?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's infuriating.
It's really, really tough. And I mean, I understand, and I never want to be selfish, because from my point of view, it is selfish to want my wife to not go and visit her family often, right? But I think there has to be a balance, but it's just so vastly different.
Sure.
And it is tough to strike that balance, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, even, living in Shenzhen, which is only about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive away from, Sasha's hometown. Every day she's having a 45-minute call with her parents on the phone. It's like, come on.
I want to share one more thing, and I think
Sure.
this is I feel you on that. This is just one more thing that really solidified that we've touched on some very deep things on this trip. And remember we talked about like culture can be bad,
Right.
just because it's different doesn't mean it's exotic. Like you said, the rice terrace guy out there, it doesn't mean he's having some sort of wise life decision about how he prefers that lifestyle, right? So if we look at it through this lens, when my wife used to criticize the Western family values, she changed her tune almost immediately. And I actually thought this is going to be more of an issue, but when she stayed with me and my parents while we had our second kid, she got to see what an American family, looks like or acts like. Not everyone, but in general, right? And she became a very integral part of that household, and everyone loved her, and she loves everyone, and she still stays in contact with them. And she became like a child of the family, but also respected as an adult. And for her, it was shocking, because here she is surrounded by adults, my parents, who are her parents-in-law. In Chinese culture, she should be still treated like a child. No respect thrown at her, but people would sit her down and be like, how's your day? What's going on? And like talk about future job prospects and what she thinks about things. And that literally flipped everything on her head. And now, honestly, I hate to say this, but she can't stand her parents, because she was, for the first time in her life, she was treated with respect. She was treated as an equal and an integral part of a Western family where everyone's opinion is valid. So it's weird. It was weird. It proved to me that things can't change, and that respect for other cultures can supersede others. So that was my other end. That was my end to the story.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I do see value in both family systems,
sure.
and I do see shortcomings in the Western system. A lot of shortcomings, especially with the way people are kind of taught to be what they can be, whatever they want to be type thing, and that's not actually true, because you can't.
Right.
But I do myself prefer the whole idea of independence and striking out on your own and making your own life. It's so much more appealing to me than constantly being coddled.
Sure,
mommy's
that's
boy,
where we come from,
Yeah, exactly. That's a difference. That's a big difference between the family units in China and in the West. But I hope that this has given some people a little bit of insight, perhaps, into some of the Chinese co-workers, colleagues, and friends. And now you know why, when you ask your Chinese work colleagues to come out for a drink on Friday, they will be like, sorry, I got to look after my grandma, even though they're like 40, now you know why. It's just super important for them.
Oh, cornfield.
Yeah, no, spilling the corn. You're wasting corn. Anyway, anything you'd like to tell our subscribers before we sign off?
Well, let us know in the comments what sort of family values do you think are important for both cultures, and how do you think they could be? This is my question. How do you think they could be like? How do you think these two systems could cooperate with each other? What can we learn from each other? Let me know. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and then also subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, look at where we're riding. Can you see this haze in the air? This smells like burning plastic.
It does.
Okay, this is not a cloud or a misty day. This is just progress, unfiltered progress. And it's one of the worst experiences in the world to ride through this, to be honest.
It really
doesn't matter if it's in Vietnam or China or anywhere in the world. Riding through this kind of stuff sucks. But we're really happy that you guys could join us on this experience, which, luckily you don't have to suffer through yourself personally. So, whether you really just enjoy our videos or you hate us or whatever, it doesn't matter. We love you all the same. We're just happy that you're along for the ride and you can see what we can see. And until next time, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. Don't forget, every single Monday, another ADV China video right here, same time, same place. On Wednesday, you can check out Laowa 86, 1 p.m. EST, and Friday, just in time for a beer going, check me out on my channel, Serpent ZA.